Greetings, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Dangerous Misinformation. Tune in today as we'll be talking about pressing topics such as climate protesters, sensitive people, why Asians are good at math, and much, much, much more fun for the entire family. Appreciate you being here. Let's get into it. Okay. Greetings, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday. You've made it. You've made it through an entire week without doing the dark thoughts on your mind. The dark thoughts. Maybe you did do some dark thoughts. If you did do some dark thoughts, tell me about it. I want to hear about it. And when I say dark thoughts, I'm talking about cracking black girls. Welcome to Dangerous Misinformation, the number one source on the World Wide Webs for dangerous misinformation. This is formerly known as the Lord Petty Podcast, and you are here because the wonders of the world, the workings, the eternal energies of life brought you here, and we are now forever mingled together. There's no going back. This is what it is. This is what Destiny's had in store for us. Please be sure to tell somebody about the podcast if you are a returning petty person, or if this is your first time tuning in. I want to welcome you with open, pasty Deutsch arms. I really appreciate you being here. Hopefully we can fill your day, brighten your day with some dangerous misinformation, teach you some things you may not know, make you chuckle a little bit, and overall just grow together and move through space and time zusammen. If you don't know what zusammen means, it was a very homosexual sounding way of saying the word zusammen, which means together in German. How funny is that zusammen, that sounds like, a medieval torture device or something like that, but it means together. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. My name is Rodney Smith, your humble narrator, and let's dive into it. I saw a video this morning, right? There's a video going around of this bus, which it looks like the bus is heading back to the UK carrying migrants or something like that, probably, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being racist. And but the thing is, you see all these just, pussy, granola, liberal white people standing in front of the bus, trying to stop the bus from going. And so what these people are climate protesters, okay? And the thing about climate protesters is they are a really, really, really bad image for the fact of climate change. I'm not even denying climate change, okay? I'm not educated on the subject enough to even debate with it, but I'm going to put my chips with the guys who are actual scientists, okay? The Republicans like to call everything a conspiracy theory, and there's a lot of mainstream conspiracy theories, but as shit like the flat earth or that humans have no impact on the world at all and blah, 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 I don't know. I get kind of like weird, I'm going to trust the people with the science degrees who study the earth for a living more than I'm going to trust the people who have a vested interest in oil. You know what I mean? And I don't want an electric car. Don't get me wrong. I don't like electric cars. I want to step on a gas and hear that bit rumble. But these climate protesters, dude, they make me want to go out and buy a diesel F-350 and roll coal because they just make me want the planet to be engulfed in smoke. They're just such a bad face for climate change. And how is it? Because here's where it gets me kind of skeptical. How is it? Climate change is this thing where it's hard for me to really reject it. But then when I look at the people who are most involved with it, I'm like, these people are fucking morons. They're going, stop, standing in front of this bus trying to stop cars with their hands. Like, do they not realize that a fucking car can tow a boat? So what do you think a bus filled with 60 people? You really think a bunch of... And these people are sitting down in front of the bus, okay? These people are sitting in front of the bus, and they go, there's people in the street, you idiot. So they're calling the bus driver an idiot. It's like... You're the idiot. You think the bus is going to stop and you're sitting in the street and you think you can stop the bus? Especially, you've seen, I guess the difference is if it would have been like a BLM rally or something like that, they at least would have been smart and thrown a brick through the windshield of the bus and yanked the bus driver out and beat the shit out of him. That's how you stop the bus. You don't just stand there going, oh my God, oh, you're going to hurt the activists. Bro, you're standing in the street. And plus, how was stopping a car? How is a car just sitting in the road idling, right? Like a big bus engine. God, I don't even know what the fuck type of engine is in a commercial bus, right? A passenger bus. Considering they got to haul all these fucking burger-eating whales around, you think that thing's got some serious horsepower, okay? And they got to haul... They got to haul all the poor fat white people around. And why is it poor people are, I guess it's because fast food is cheap. But vegetables are cheaper than fast food. You know what I mean? This is why I don't like fat people. Like if you can't even control what you put in your mouth, how the fuck am I going to trust you? But anyways. So the bus has a lot of power, obviously, right? So then you get these skinny soy white people. They want to go stand in front of the bus and stop the bus from going anywhere. And you think that is going to tell the oil companies to stop drilling offshore, or that's going to tell the auto manufacturers to stop making cars, or that's going to like shut down the beef industries because the cow farts allegedly are causing way more damage to the ozone layer than Leonardo DiCaprio's private jet, or, you know, all the celebrities going back and forth from Epstein's Island, which we will never see the logs of. We will see everything about Trump, Andrew Tate, Alex Jones, all these people who are just saying mean things. We'll never see anything about the Epstein Islands list because they're going to be distracted telling us about January 6th rioters. And the hilarious thing about that, okay? The people that are and I'm not agreeing with January 6th. That was a stupid thing. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, what are these people doing? But also that was pent up anger from watching left-wing protests for over a year. So that's one thing people like to throw to the side, that a week before the entire fucking city of DC was on fire, people protesting the cops. And then as soon as we pulled the cops out, everywhere just went to shit. Look at San Francisco and all these like big liberal cities. But anyways, the people that were the most worked up about January 6th, ironically, a lot of these people are really siding with Palestine. And not so much Palestine even, but Hamas, right? Like those are two separate entities. And what Hamas did was go and try to overthrow another region, and they went in and they slaughtered civilians. So if you're more upset about a couple rednecks putting their feet on Nancy Pelosi's office, you know, on her desk, if you're more upset about the rednecks putting their feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk than you are about terrorists taking gliders into a music festival and slaughtering a bunch of kids, there's something wrong with you. I really didn't see but it makes sense. It makes sense while these like really left-wing people are siding with the Hamas shit, because at the heart of it, they're all just kind of terrorists that want to blame everything on everybody else. Like, do the Israelis treat them kind of shitty? Yes, they obviously do. And I don't know the depths of it. But the Hamas people are obviously bad the same way all these fucking Antifa people and stuff are bad, you know? The Antifa people who leave their mother's basements to go and riot and then make racial tensions even way worse. Shit they don't understand about going around and inciting violence. And I don't understand the left-wing immunity with violence in this country. I don't understand how it just doesn't make any sense. Like imagine like even right now when you see like these pro-Palestine rallies where they're going around and they're burning Israeli flags. Imagine if there was one person wearing a Trump hat in that crowd as they are burning Israeli flags. They'd be like, oh, the Nazis are back at it. You know, because that's what everybody likes to call everybody a Nazi that they don't agree with. But in this case, you're persecuting the JOOs, the thing I'm even too scared to say, which I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's a more sensitive group of people on earth than the JOOs, because yes, they've been persecuted. Yes, they've gone through terrible things. Obviously, we all know about that. But they're also at the same time the most privileged group on the planet. And if you even mention them, right? If you even say the name, like look what happened to Kanye. Like you can pretty much say things about every group of people, but which you should be able to. Like we should be able to talk about things. But yeah, you say something about the JOOs and some weird shit starts happening. But it's like I've made videos trashing both sides equally. And people will go, oh, you're just, you know, if you trash them both equally, at least the people that support Palestine realize you're trashing both sides. Like the super pro-Israel people think you're just like, oh, you're anti-Semitic. I don't even know what that means, dude. I don't even know what the fuck Jews believe, to be honest with you. I just know that typically Jews have a lot of money, stick together, they're good nice people for all I know. And I really don't know what they believe in. And the whole point of anybody being offended, okay, strip back any one particular group, like the idea of being offended in general, like nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck if your feelings are hurt. We have this thing, like I heard, it cracks me up with this term, trigger warning, right? Somebody says, oh, trigger warning, so I'm about to say something that might trigger you. I don't give a fuck, and nobody should give a fuck. If somebody's offended by words, dude, they weren't supposed to make it this far in the evolutionary chain. Do you think the people that got blown up in the hospital over in Gaza when the Palestinian rocket fell short and blew up all their own kids, and then they wanted to get on TV and act like they're the victims of Israel again? When that happened, you think they're like, oh, trigger warning, this missile's about to fall from the sky and fucking kill all of us. This idea that we're so comfortable in the West where we care about people's fucking feelings, right? Where we care about people's feelings. If you say, what is hate? What is hate speech? You know what I mean? It's just fucking words. It's like when I was talking about rappers taking themselves so serious for just rhyming words, and all they're talking about is bitches and bottles in the club, and chicks with fat asses throwing it back and pouring champagne on it and doing blow off titties and whatever the fuck rappers do these days. I don't know. I think they're actually just sipping cough syrup the whole time, because I hear that line. I hear rappers in their songs talking about, I never catch a cold because I'm sipping all this cough syrup, which became illegal as soon as Justin Bieber tried it, because now the white kids started sipping on syrup. But anyways, I forgot what I said. Oh yeah, being offended. It doesn't matter, dude. Nobody cares if you're offended. I particularly don't care, and I almost kind of get off on it. Like if I know that somebody, I'm not a bully by any means, but if I know that somebody's going to crumble under words, that's hilarious. To me, I think of you almost as less of a person. I don't think of you as an equal. I just think of you as less of a person, and typically I won't go after you, because that's what bullies do. Bullies go after weak people. I only go after what I see are worthy opponents. That's why I like cracking on the left so much, because they're in charge of everything. But if somebody is going to crumble under fucking words, right? If somebody can't handle fucking words, I can't take anything. Like fat people and offended people, I can't take you serious. There's nothing about you I don't want to be friends with you. Imagine letting words affect you that much, dude. Just nobody cares. And even the people that pretend they care, they don't really care. You're not oppressed. If you live in the United States, I'm sorry, you're not oppressed. Most people that claim to be oppressed, they are just putting themselves there because they're making terrible decisions, or they're begging for attention, which they don't need. Look at what's going on in the world. And I'm not saying that, some terrible thing makes a bad thing any less bad, but I guess it does. It shouldn't always be comparatively speaking, but even just standalone events, who the fuck is oppressed in America? People come here from decrepit places, right? War-torn countries. They come here and they try a little bit and they make it happen. You know what I mean? Then you get other groups of people that just want to blame everything on everybody else. And it's dude, where does it end? I mean, this country's been around for fucking... If somebody could come here from fucking Bangladesh, right? Somebody come here from Bangladesh with nothing, and then they go get a job at a factory, they save their money, they get an apartment, they do these little things to get themselves into position, maybe even get a grant to go to school, do things that they want to do, or put something on the internet that's do some drop shipping or whatever it may be. The opportunities are fucking endless. So when you hear people just talking about being oppressed constantly, and it's dude, shut up. Nobody cares. At the end of it, nobody cares. People might pretend that they care, but at the very core of it, nobody gives a fuck. No, you're not oppressed. Nobody believes that you're actually oppressed. The people that do believe that you are oppressed, they think that they're better. You know what I mean? When you get these super, super, super liberal white people who think that they need to help black people tie their shoes, that is fucking racism to me. I think it's racist for white people to tell other races that, no, you're not capable of things because you look that way. That's the racism. And then they want to accuse the fucking moderates that are just yeah, I mean, we're all equal. Maybe I had a head start, but in whatever case it may be, but did I really? And that's when people say, so the argument is valid, right? The argument is valid, like, oh, another white guy just running his mouth about shit he doesn't understand. Okay, I don't understand what it's like to be a different race. Sure, I'll give you that. But also, if you're the different race, you don't understand what it's like to be a straight white male. You have no idea. So how are you going to call out my privileges? How are you going to tell me what my life is like in comparison? That's no different than me telling you what your life is like. Me dismissing your gripes is no different than you pretending that I have all these invisible fucking benefits that just fall from the sky. Newsflash, we're all out here competing against each other. And unless you are, if you're actually in a smaller group, that's why I think that the Jews are privileged, because they're in a smaller minority group and they are ahead. It's kind of how a lot of the times it's a cultural thing, dude. Like that's why, Asians have this like crazy work ethic because that's just ingrained in their culture. And you know what? You know what's crazy about Asians in math? It's not even that they're like super intellectually inferior to everybody. It's how their language is set up. The way we say, this is beyond my head about explaining, but the way that we say, for instance, 13, 14, they just say like 1, 3. Like the way their language is set up, math makes a lot more sense, but they don't communicate as directly with words. It's a real weird thing. If you're interested in it, go look it up. I can't tell you too much about it. I just know that it is a thing that the reason Asians are so good at math is because their language with the math makes sense, where it's almost like if you speak an equation, like a something times something, the answer almost gives itself. It's like you just carry a word over and it gives you the answer. So from a young age, they're just, it just makes more sense. But yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Where are we at? 16 minutes? 16 and a half minutes, huh? Well, I think we're going to start winding it down, bro. One thing I want to say, though, is I don't understand why in sports you have to use your last name. What if you just want to be first name? Where did that tradition come from where all around the globe, every different sports team, every different sport, every different culture, we decided we're going to address athletes by their last name? What if somebody just wants to be fucking Steve? You know what I'm saying? What if somebody just wants to have, like if I just wanted to have Rod on my jersey and tell me, no, you got to be Smith. I'm like, well, there's a million other Smiths. I don't want to be Smith. I want to be just my first name. Who does it? Wow, that was the worst topic. It's Friday, you guys. It's Friday, and I'm gonna be honest with you. So I'm in my studio right now, and my cat pissed in here again. So I got to clean the whole fucking carpets. So I'm doing this podcast really early in the morning, which I don't usually do. Usually I do it at the end of the day when my brain's all full of the shit that gets me worked up. So right now, to be honest with you, I'm in way too good of a mood to be even doing this fucking podcast. But it's Friday. We're heading into the weekend. I appreciate y'all being here. Hopefully you had a good week. Please tell somebody. Thank you for being here. Share it on your social medias. That's how things grow. You have all the power to do that. One muff at a time. It's like that Johnny Cash song where he talks about building a car and he steals one part at a time. Then eventually he just makes this like fucked up car. I think the song is called One Piece at a Time. Go look it up. He talks about stealing one piece of a car at a time out of the factory that he works in. Then he goes and builds this fucking Frankenstein thing, which I know that didn't actually happen, but that's what can happen with this podcast. One little piece at a time, we can go tell somebody, grow it, spread this dangerous misinformation. Let the offended people know that we don't give a fuck about them. Let me be the person to fall on the sword. You just sit back in your thriving career without having any enemies and just put my voice out there to say all this bullshit for you. That way you won't look like the bad guy, but the message is still getting out there. I do this for you. But really, thank you for tuning in. This was Dangerous Misinformation. Happy weekend. Happy Friday. Don't drive drunk. Don't fuck any fat people. And don't do bad things. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.